The twin suns of Scytheria dipped low in the sky, casting long golden shadows across the palace spires. From afar, the city seemed almost unreal, with towers that shimmered like liquid metal and streets lined with floating gardens. Every being in the galaxy knew about this place, and most knew about the princess who ruled it with a mind sharper than any blade and a heart admired by all. Princess Lyra, heir to the Scytherian throne, had grown up surrounded by wealth, admiration, and endless suitors. From powerful alien merchants to battle-hardened warriors, everyone seemed to want her attention. Yet none of them had ever reached the core of her heart. Lyra walked along the palace balcony, her silver hair flowing in the evening wind. She watched the city below, her violet eyes reflecting the glittering towers. She often wondered if anyone could ever see beyond her title, beyond the perfection everyone expected her to be. She longed for something genuine, someone who did not see her as a prize or a political advantage. Her heart, she admitted to no one, hungered for simplicity, honesty, and courage, the kind of courage that did not rely on wealth, weapons, or power. That evening, the palace was bustling with unusual activity. A fleet of unknown ships had entered Scytherian space, their hulls glinting under the twin suns. The air hummed with curiosity and caution. These were not ships belonging to the usual traders or diplomats. These were human ships, and humans were rare in this part of the galaxy. Known for their unpredictability, resilience, and strange ingenuity, humans were admired but also considered fragile. Most Scytherians thought no human could survive their intricate cities, their complex politics, or their demanding environments. Princess Lyra found herself intrigued. She had studied humans from afar, watched their history, their achievements, and their failures. She knew they were different, but she never imagined one would arrive at her palace personally. The human stepped out first. Captain Ethan Drake, tall, rugged, and calm, walked with a confidence that came not from arrogance but from knowing himself and trusting his instincts. His uniform was simple but functional, unlike the elaborate robes of Scytherian officials. He did not bow excessively, he did not stammer under pressure, and he did not appear awed by the palace or its princess. Lyra's curiosity sharpened. She had seen many beings kneel, flatter, and scheme to gain her favor. None had ever walked into her world as if they belonged. Ethan's calm presence was magnetic. The ceremonial hall was vast and luminous, with holographic banners displaying Scytheria's history. Many alien dignitaries were already present, all trying to position themselves in her favor. They noticed Ethan immediately, whispering among themselves. "A human," one alien said, voice dripping with skepticism. "What does he think he's doing here?" Lyra stepped forward, her long robes brushing the floor. She smiled politely but reservedly, as always. "Welcome to Scytheria," she said, her voice clear and melodic. "I am Princess Lyra. May I ask the purpose of your visit?" Ethan inclined his head slightly, his brown eyes steady and honest. "Your Highness, I come as an explorer and a friend. My mission is to study Scytheria and understand your people. I have no desire for political gain or alliances beyond learning and sharing knowledge." The crowd murmured. Such honesty was rare. Many dignitaries tried to hide their amusement, others their disbelief. Lyra, however, found herself leaning just slightly forward, intrigued. His words carried a weight of sincerity she rarely encountered. As the evening wore on, the palace staff guided Ethan through Scytheria's customs, explaining protocols, hierarchies, and the importance of appearances. He asked questions, sometimes clumsily, sometimes with genuine curiosity, and each answer he gave reflected thoughtfulness, not ignorance. But Scytheria had a way of testing all visitors, even the humans. In the palace's central chamber, a sudden alarm echoed. Red lights flashed and holographic screens lit up, showing an unexpected malfunction in the city's defense system. A misfired energy pulse threatened to damage one of the floating gardens, endangering civilians. Panic spread among the palace staff and advisors. Many began arguing about who was responsible, while others scrambled to contain the threat. Lyra's first instinct was to ensure everyone's safety, but the complex control system was far beyond her usual oversight. She glanced at Ethan, half expecting him to step back. Intimidated, instead, he moved forward. "Show me the main control interface," he said calmly. "I'll help," Lyra blinked. "You, how?" she asked, not hiding her surprise. Ethan's human eyes were steady. "We humans solve problems in unconventional ways. Let me try." The council gasped and the dignitaries whispered anxiously. A human touching the palace's defense system? Preposterous. But the pulse of energy was unstoppable unless someone acted immediately. Lyra nodded, signaling the palace tech team to allow Ethan access. Minutes felt like hours as he studied the interface, his hands moving swiftly. He combined logic, intuition, and improvisation, bypassing the malfunctioning circuits, stabilizing the energy flow, and rerouting the pulse safely into a containment grid. The floating garden remained untouched, and no civilian was harmed. The room erupted in stunned silence. Then applause broke out. Some dignitaries tried to hide it. Others stared openly in disbelief. Lyra's heart raced, admiration growing in a way she had never felt before. You saved lives, she said softly, almost to herself. Then louder to the council. Captain Drake's actions prevented disaster. He has our gratitude, the council murmured among themselves. Some grudgingly nodded. Others frowned. A human had dared to step into a world far beyond his own, and he had succeeded. After the commotion settled, Lyra walked beside Ethan to the balcony. The twin suns were setting, painting the sky in shades of amber and violet. She looked at him, her voice quiet but firm. Most who come here think I am untouchable, unreachable, or simply a prize. You are different, Ethan smiled faintly. I am not here to claim prizes. I am here to understand, to learn, and to help where I can. Lyra's violet eyes held his gaze. Everyone wants me, human, she said softly, almost whispering. But I chose you. The words carried a weight that shocked the surrounding guards who had been keeping a careful watch. Whispers spread through the palace corridors. A human and the princess had chosen him. Many were stunned. Some thought it impossible. Others doubted he could survive the pressures of Zetherian politics. Ethan felt the gravity of her words. He was not a warrior of noble blood nor a rich merchant. He was just a human, with all the limitations and strengths that came with it. Yet her choice was clear, and he felt an unfamiliar warmth spread through his chest, a mix of honor, disbelief, and growing affection. As night fell, the palace settled into a cautious quiet. The dignitaries began to reconsider their strategies. Some plotted subtle ways to challenge Ethan, thinking a human could not possibly sustain favor with a princess. Others quietly observed, curious about this unprecedented bond. Lyra, however, could not stop thinking about him. His courage, humility, and intelligence struck a chord she had been waiting for her whole life. The world around her, with its endless suitors and political obligations, felt less important now. She wanted to see more of this human, to understand him, and to discover what lay beyond the conventions of her palace. Ethan, meanwhile, sat in his quarters, looking out at the glowing city. He was far from home in a world he barely understood, yet he felt a strange sense of purpose. He had come as an observer, but already he was woven into the very heart of Zetheria, a human, chosen by an alien princess standing at the edge of a civilization that had never known anyone like him. The night was calm, but the galaxy was never quiet for long. Danger, curiosity, and intrigue always followed someone like Ethan. Yet for the first time he felt ready. For the first time he felt that perhaps a human, with courage and integrity, could not only survive but make a difference in a galaxy filled with beings far more powerful than him. And somewhere in the palace, Princess Lyra looked up at the stars, her hand resting lightly on the balcony rail. She smiled softly, whispering to herself, I chose the right one. The winds of Zetheria carried that choice far and wide, stirring whispers of change, challenges, and a story that had only just begun. A human had arrived, and for the first time, the princess's heart had followed a path no one expected. The night promised trials, alliances, and perhaps danger. But as the twin moons rose above the horizon, one truth remained clear. This was not a story of a princess being chosen. It was a story of courage, trust, and the bond between two beings from different worlds, united by respect and genuine admiration. And so, the first chapter of their tale ended, but the galaxy waited for what would come next. The morning sun rose over Zetheria, bathing the palace in soft golden light. The twin sun's rays reflected off the towering spires and the floating gardens, making the city look like it was made of glass and fire. Despite the beauty, tension filled the air. Word of Princess Lyra's choice of a human companion had spread through the city and beyond. Alien dignitaries whispered behind closed doors, some in disbelief, some in anger. A human, they said, had no place beside a princess of Scytheria. Lyra walked through the palace corridors, her robes brushing the marble floor. Her mind was alive with thoughts of Captain Ethan Drake. She had chosen him not because of titles, power, or appearances, but because he had shown courage, intelligence, and kindness, the kind of strength that could not be bought or inherited. Yet she knew the road ahead would be difficult. There were customs to respect, politics to navigate, and enemies who would test both her and Ethan at every turn. Ethan, meanwhile, stood in the central training hall. Though humans were not known for combat prowess among aliens, he understood strategy and quick thinking. The palace had begun preparations for potential challenges, and Ethan observed the drills, learning the ways of Scytherian defense and politics. He noticed the glances from the guards and advisors, some respectful, some skeptical. Each glance reminded him of the fine line he walked, the line between respect and ridicule, admiration and jealousy. That afternoon, an alien council meeting was called. The dignitaries assembled in the great hall, their expressions a mix of anger, suspicion, and curiosity. Lyra entered, her presence commanding attention. She walked beside Ethan, who remained calm and composed despite the heavy scrutiny. A council elder, tall and imposing, spoke first. "Princess Lyra, we must question your choice. Humans are fragile. They lack the heritage, the strength, and the understanding needed to stand beside a ruler of Scytheria." Lyra raised her hand. "I have made my choice, Elder. Strength is not only inherited, it is shown through courage, intelligence, and loyalty. Captain Drake has demonstrated all these qualities." Murmurs filled the room. Some dignitaries tried to interrupt, but Lyra's gaze silenced them. She turned to Ethan. "Do you wish to speak?" Ethan nodded, taking a step forward. "I do not claim to be perfect," he said, his voice steady. "Nor do I seek power or fame. But I have faced challenges, solved problems, and saved lives. I came to learn and to help. If that is not enough, I will accept your judgment. But I ask you to judge me by my actions, not my species." The council fell silent. Few had expected such honesty and clarity. Many could not hide the grudging respect in their eyes. Still, not all were convinced. Days passed and challenges arrived. A rival faction from a nearby star system, hearing of the princess's choice, saw an opportunity. They launched small attacks at the outskirts of Scytheria, testing the city's defenses. The palace went into high alert, and Lyra worked closely with Ethan to assess the threats. One evening, as alarms blared across the city, Ethan studied the star maps. "The attacks are coordinated," he said. "They want to weaken us slowly before striking directly. We need to act before they gather more strength." Lyra nodded. "Do you have a plan?" Ethan traced routes with his finger on the holographic display. "We will use our knowledge of the city and our technology in unexpected ways. They won't predict a human strategy. I need your permission to lead a small unit to intercept them." The council hesitated. Humans leading military units? It was unthinkable. Lyra intervened. "Trust him," she said firmly. "I trust him." "That is enough." Ethan led a group of elite Scytherian guards, combining human intuition with Scytherian technology. The battle was fierce. Energy pulses lit the night sky, and the attackers were relentless. But Ethan's unconventional tactics, using the city's defenses creatively, predicting enemy movements and improvising in real time, turned the tide. By dawn, the invaders were defeated, retreating back to their star system. Scytheria had suffered minimal damage, and the citizens hailed their princess and her human companion as heroes. Back in the palace, Lyra and Ethan stood on the balcony, overlooking the recovering city. The twin suns rose together, bathing everything in warm light. Lyra spoke softly. "You have proven yourself beyond my expectations, and beyond theirs as well." Ethan shrugged, smiling. "I just did what anyone would do in my place. I learned from your people, and we faced the threat together." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "And yet you did it in a way only a human could. Your courage, your thinking. It is unlike anything this galaxy has seen." But peace was not guaranteed. Rumors of dissatisfaction grew among some alien nobles who still refused to accept a human at the princess's side. One evening, a council member approached Lyra with a warning. "There are those who will not rest until the human is gone. They will create traps, sabotage your decisions, or challenge him directly." Lyra did not flinch. Let them try. If he falters, I will know. But I trust him completely. As days turned into weeks, Ethan and Lyra faced many small challenges: political intrigue, subtle sabotage attempts, and tests of loyalty. Each time, Ethan's human ingenuity and unwavering integrity turned problems into solutions. He earned respect from the guards, the council, and even skeptics among the alien dignitaries. Lyra watched him closely during these trials. She saw not only intelligence and courage, but compassion, patience, and an ability to inspire others. She realized that strength was not just measured by power or rank. It was measured by character, and Ethan's character shone brighter than anyone she had ever met. The greatest challenge came when a fleet from a hostile system arrived at Zitherian borders, threatening invasion. The enemy forces were vast, technologically advanced, and experienced. Panic began to spread across the city. Many advisors urged caution, suggesting negotiation or surrender. Ethan studied the fleet's formations. "We can't outgun them," he said, "but we can outthink them. I have a plan, but it requires cooperation and trust from your people. And from you, Lyra." Lyra nodded. "Whatever it takes. I trust you completely." Ethan organized Zitherian defenses, combining their technology with human tactics. He predicted enemy maneuvers, set traps, and coordinated surprise counterattacks. The battle was intense. Energy beams tore through the sky. Starships maneuvered with incredible speed, and explosions lit the horizon. At a critical moment, Ethan risked himself to lead a small squad directly into the heart of the enemy fleet, disabling their command ships and breaking their coordination. The alien forces faltered, unable to recover from the unexpected strategy. When the battle ended, Zitheria stood victorious. Citizens cheered, the council bowed in respect, and the once skeptical nobles acknowledged Ethan's brilliance. Lyra approached him amidst the celebration. "You did it," she said, her voice full of awe. "You saved my people, my home, and even me." Ethan smiled, a little embarrassed by the praise. "I just did what needed to be done. You gave me trust and freedom to act. That made all the difference." Lyra took his hand gently, her violet eyes soft and steady. "Everyone wanted me human," she said quietly. "But I chose you. Not because of strength or fame, but because of who you are." Ethan felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling he had never known in a galaxy of stars and endless worlds. He realized that this choice, this trust, and this bond were far more important than any victory or recognition. From that day forward, humans and Zitherians began to see a new kind of partnership, one based not on tradition, lineage, or obligation, but on respect, courage, and heart. The story of the human chosen by the alien princess spread across Zitheria and beyond, inspiring beings from all corners of the galaxy to value character over status. Lyra and Ethan continued to work together, facing challenges, solving problems, and learning from each other. Their bond became legendary, a symbol of unity between species, and a testament to the human qualities the galaxy often underestimated: resilience, ingenuity, and unwavering integrity. At night, when the twin moons of Zitheria rose high above the palace, Lyra and Ethan stood on the balcony looking at the stars. The world below was peaceful, but the universe was vast and unpredictable. Yet side by side, they felt ready for whatever came next. In a galaxy filled with ambition, power, and intrigue, a simple human and an alien princess had proven that true strength was not inherited, purchased, or demanded. It was earned through courage, kindness, and choice. And in that choice, they found not just victory, but something far more precious: trust, respect, and love that bridged worlds. Their story was only beginning. But one truth remained clear: no matter the challenges ahead, together they could face anything. For everyone wanted the princess, but she had chosen the human. And in that choice, the galaxy would never be the same again.